Hi, my name is Mike Akins. I've been successfully involved in network marketing for the last 49 years. This is Lauren Roberts.
Hi! Yeah, as he says, my name is Lauren Roberts, and I am so excited about what this organization is going to do. I've worked with Mike now for about 6 years, and I've been able to see so many people be able to achieve their full potential in this opportunity. And the cool thing is that they were grassroots distributors. Here's the cool statistics. In Mike's organization, he has well over $100 million earners. And the really neat thing is 60% of these people were completely new to this industry. And then 95% of the remainder, which is 40% of 95% of 40%, had been in multiple opportunities before and never achieved their full potential. But with working with this particular team, with the professional networker staff that he's going to get into later with Mike Akins and his 49 plus years of experience of success, they've been able to achieve their full potential. And we are excited to work with you.
And like I say, network marketing has been very good to me. With network marketing proceeds, I've been able to purchase, restaurants, health clubs, body shops, used car lots, RV parks, truck stop. It's been really good to me. But I've been very concerned of what happens to the majority of grassroots distributors and even distributors that's been around a while. Very concerned, because I've seen so many people that have tremendous amount of ability, work their hearts out, and not get where they deserve to be. And I wonder why. And then also I've been concerned about companies going out of business. It happened to me back in 79, 80, 81. I worked at a company in the old world, over 60,000 distributors in my organization, and they went out of business. Who would have dreamed that to happen? I was shocked. I've seen so many lives crushed. So, I was so concerned about this as a humanitarian that I conducted, and actually I should say that I financed a study, a 3.5-year study by research and marketing consultants. And this company looked at 342 different opportunities, the very best opportunities in the world, and later on over 1,000 opportunities. And they looked at marketing trends, they looked at why people fail, why some are successful, why do companies go out of business. They look at products, how do the product strategies fit into things, and also they was able to accumulate genealogies with information on over 2 million distributors and customers. From this study, we were able to come up with what we call the equation for success. And what we did, we took about 6 companies, started out with 5, that lined up with this equation, and we test market them in the 90s. And then we come up with the number 1 opportunity, network marketing opportunity in the world. It was just starting, but it had all of the factors that this study said that were important. And what was really neat about this is that I was able to get involved with this company from the very beginning. Like, to give you for instance, I gave them their first training conference call over the phone when they only had 1 distributor, but they had the management there. I gave them the very first training session. Also, I worked with the national sales director to develop a pay plan that is now the only scientifically designed pay plan in the world, and it lines up with this study. It's tremendously amazing what we've been able to do. I have no doubt that this is the number 1 network marketing opportunity in the world and in the history of network marketing. This study found 5 factors that were vital to lasting success. Number 1, that there was a true humanitarian at the helm of the company. Now, I'm not talking about, someone that just does humanitarian things as a show, but someone that has a lifelong history of being a humanitarian. Now, why is that important? Well, as a humanitarian, I can tell you why. Because a humanitarian doesn't see you as a dollar sign or a stepping stone to their own success. A humanitarian cares about you. Now, why is that important? Well, throughout my 49 years, I've seen some terrible things happen. I've seen companies go out of business. I've seen companies sell out and betray their distributors. I've seen companies do all kinds of things, mergers, sellouts. It's just amazing what I've seen. But if a true humanitarian is going to stick in there for you. So that was very, very important. And yes, we have a true humanitarian at the top. David and Bianca, I tell you what, they are true humanitarians, body, spirit, soul. And they have been that way all their lives. And I checked this out very carefully because this was very important to me. Number 2 is experience management. Now, good experience management, okay? And we have that with David and Bianca because, you see, they help build a company to over $200 million in annual sales a year. And he sold out to his partner to get into research. And that's how he came across this amazing product that I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. And he surrounded himself with individuals that have tremendous amount of successful experience. You take our CEO, Steve Tu, he came from a company that was one of the fastest growing companies and most solid companies in the industry. And so this is tremendous management. Very, very important. But number 3 was very important, and that is a scientifically designed pay plan. From this study, they took the best out of different pay plans to see what was working. And what was the concern was there's such a large percentage of distributors that are not successful in pay plans in general. And you see, every pay plan has a target. And generally they target the heavy hitter. And this is detrimental to the majority of networkers. And in the long run, it's detrimental to the heavy hitter. So the pay plan is very, very important. Not only do you have a target in every pay plan, but you have a structural factor that very few people are aware of. And this structural factor will limit the percentage of the individuals in your company that can be successful. Now, when I say limit, a person thinks, well, how can you be limited? You just work hard and you'll be successful. But there's a structural factor. And I'll give you an example. If you have one person, and this person purchases $100 worth of product in a month, and let's say your pay plan pays 10% per level. And if you're in the binary, it's 10% of one side, so it still comes out 5 or 10%. Now, well, how many people does it take for that one person to break even on his $100 purchase? Well, if each of your distributors order $100 in product, just like you did, then it means that you're going to get paid $10 per each distributor. Okay, so it takes 10 tens to get your money back at 100. So that means you got one person in breaking even or in profit, and you have 10 that's not. Now, let's say those 10 are ambitious and they're going to work hard. They're going to get into profit. How many people does it take for those 10 people to get into profit? Well, each needs 10. That's 100 distributors that's not going to be breaking even on their product or be in profit. And that means you got 11 individuals that are in profit or breaking even, and you have 100 that's not. Now you'd think, well, those 100, all they got to do is just work hard and to get into profit. Well, it's going to take 1,000 distributors to get those 100 into profit. Now you have 111 distributors in profit or breaking even on their product, and now you have 1,000 that's not. And see, when you get 1,000,000 distributors, you don't defeat the percentage. The only way you can overcome that percentage is through retail sales. And you don't just have a lot of that going on. So that's a tremendous problem. That's over 90% of your organization that your income depends on, not in the profit. And this is what's been the tragedy of network marketing is attrition. Why do so many leaders change plans every few years, even if they don't go out of business, even if the company don't go out of business? The average leader is going to change plans every 7 to 12 years. And that's because attrition. And actually, attrition is what throws these businesses, it puts them in a situation where they do go out of business or they get bought up because they get inventories based on their growth. They get customer service, get personnel based on their growth. They increase the size of their facilities. They get all ready for this growth, and then they start getting attrition, and then they got their money tied up. Monavie is a good example of that. One of the recent examples, they had $182 million in debt. They were growing, one of the fastest growing companies in the world, in history. But exactly what I'm talking about happened due to a product line and also due to their compensation plan. You see, they had a binary. Binaries are worse than unilevels. There's over 1,000 binaries that started back, in the early 90s. The very first binary was in 1989. Gold Eagle, I believe the name of it was. And over 1,000 of them went out of business. Only a handful survived. Because of the problem you have a gap between when a person starts and when they start getting paid, even on the short side. It used to be 50-50, some are 2/3, 1/3, and you have a gap there. Well, as you develop 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, you're going to have more people on the bottom of your matrix, if you want to call it a matrix. The study located each of these weaknesses in each type of compensation plan. And so the For Life compensation plan addresses each one of these weaknesses. We call our compensation plan a unilevel hybrid. So what we've done, we've addressed all 7 categories of networkers. We have the money up front for the grassroots distributor through the unilevel. We have up to a 12% infinity for the mid-level networker. Then we have the big group volumes for the heavy hitter, which could extend more than 100 levels deep. So we have an amazing pay plan, a pay plan that For Life on $2 billion worth of sales paid out to its distributors $1.2 billion. This is 60%. Now this 60% is on revenue, not on points. I'll give you an example. Our pay plan says 64% on points. Well, you can't go by points because some companies award only a few points per dollar. So what you have to go is on revenue. And on $2 billion revenue, to pay out $1.2 billion to its distributors, or 60% on revenue, is unheard of. The highest paid plan in the world for any legitimate company. Now, the next category that's very important is the product strategy. Product strategy can have a tremendous effect on your income and also influence the attrition retention ratio. The typical company will try to find a product that sounds very exciting, and they'll something that's been around, like they take noni. Noni in 1996. It was a Polynesian island. It sounded very romantic or exotic. And so they hit the market and broke all records. First, they got to $1 billion faster than any other company that ever got to $1 billion in sales. But what happened, as an example, what happened was within 18 months, there were 50 companies marketing noni juice. And within a few years, you could buy it at GNC, your local vitamin store. And so what happened is at the bottom of their matrix, people would start buying from a cheaper source. So this caused attrition. And before long, you have Zango. Now what was said was, okay, some of the management left to go develop another company. But really what was going on was attrition. That they had grown fast, but because there were so many people marketing their product, the heavy hitters were experiencing falling checks in the primary market, attrition in the original markets. They go into international markets to try to make up for the statistics, but it was terrible in the initial market. And this happens to company after company. 4Life has a complete different product strategy, and it's just pretty amazing. The transfer factor strategy is completely different. You see, in most every other company, you have a product. Not only can they copy it, but there's other nutrients that can do similar things. With transfer factor, it's a unique, absolutely exclusive product. And in 18 years, we haven't had any company, network marketing company, copy our product. There's one company just recently came out with a transfer factor product that's using the original patent that boosted 103%. Transfer at 4Life has taken and put together a scientific team, and they're light years ahead now. So we don't have all that competition. Can you imagine 18 years having one company with a transfer factor product that's tremendously inferior to ours? This is unheard of, and there's specific reasons for that I'm not going to share in this video, but you need to find out what these reasons are. And see, the transfer factor is so unique, there's no way that any other nutrient can do all it does. It actually brings into your immune system intelligence. It actually, you're born with transfer factors. It manages your health. And no other nutrient can do this. Now, so you see, we have each one of these factors that this study found was very important. The last factor that I want to talk about is going to be support, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you to know this. You know, when we started this company, and I started working with this company, and this was all theoretical. But you see, by 2003, we knew that what was theoretical had become reality. 4Life was selected by Inc. magazine, a very prestigious magazine in the United States, as being the 15th fastest growing privately owned company, not just networking company in the United States. We knew at that point what was at one time theoretical was becoming a reality.
And you know, Mike, I've seen this in your organization, because see, I came and started working with you about 6 years ago. And at that time, I remember that you had about 200,000 distributors. And by 2014, your organization had actually over doubled itself in size. And it was almost up to 500,000 distributors in over 90 countries. And now, of course, it's well beyond that. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to this, though, because, Mike, I'm going to have to tell you, I really believe that this fourth leg is going to be able to beat all the records that we've set before in your other 3 primary organizations. So, hey, guys, that's watching this video, if you're not a part of this team yet, you need to get a part of this team, because we are going to break all records.
You know, we've done well, and I can't take all the credit. We have some great leaders out in the field. I mean, I'm trying to say tremendous leaders throughout my organization that's helped build this thing together. And so, you know, 12 out of 16 platinums is what we have in the organization. 80% of all the ranked leaders are in our organization. About 85 out of 105 golds. So, you know, the reality, you know, is here. And now we're looking at moving beyond this point. And we are starting this 4th primary leg, and I'm excited about it because my other 3 primary legs do about $25 million in sales every month. So what we're going to talk about now is support, and support was the fifth, the 5th important factor, and support is very vital to your success. Support is vital. You know, for the last 30 years, I've provided my distributors with a staff of professional success coaches. And this study found that was one of the most important reasons why a majority of distributors do not achieve success when they have tremendous talent, they have the capability, but not the right kind of support. So I beefed up my support after the study. And we have departmental support. I got an IT department. We have free websites. We develop websites for different markets. You know, we have a advertising department. they're professionals at designing ads. We have a graphics department, and we design professionally color brochures, and we have postcards. Our postcards have been tremendously successful all throughout the world. We have a fulfillment center where we send out various types of literature for our distributors. We have a shipping department, because 4Life doesn't ship to most of our markets that we're in, that we have distributors in. They ship in the countries they have offices in, or they've been registered, but we ship to all the other countries and distributors throughout the world. My staff travel various countries. They've traveled all over Asia. They've traveled Europe, Africa. We have a tremendous support system. In all my 49 years at network marketing, I've never seen anything like it. We have the most extensive support in the history of network marketing. Not too long ago, I had an individual who had been involved in network marketing for like 30 years, and he said this was a network marketer's paradise.
Yeah, actually, Mike, I've been a part of the support team. And, I started from the very beginning in the stock room, and I worked my way from the bottom of the support all the way up, and I've done different departments. And I've heard so many people be able to really just say, hey, you guys are awesome. And they've said they've never, ever experienced anything like this before in a support team. And so I've got compliment after compliment, and it's just pretty amazing to hear this for people that have had 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years of experience in this industry and never had the support that we offer in this team.
And so what's going to happen now is that I have selected Lauren here because of her humanitarian heart and how bright she is to head up my fourth primary leg. And we feel like that this fourth leg is going to be the most successful of all of our legs. We have $25 million a month in sales in these first 3 legs. And now we're going to see something that's never been seen before in network marketing. We are going to just blow the top off. We invite you to join us in this crusade, you might call it, or join us in this journey. Because Lauren, as the lead person, my staff and I, working with you, we are going to take this 500,000 or 600,000 distributors, whatever it may be at this point, to 2 million distributors. And that what you build with us will last a lifetime. I guarantee it.